So hello everyone, and welcome back to FTRL for yet another round of Div 2 action on Wednesday, and for what is round 10 I believe, we are at Brazil for the final race before the little mid-season interval we've got next week. So for the final race before that little break, we are at Brazil at the Interlagos circuit. So let's see what's happened. At the moment it's dry but dull, I'd say, but not a massive rush to get out of this. I'm not expecting any rain imminently. Yeah, but no rain at the minute. Only one person so far that's out on track. A few people just about to leave the pits as well. So a couple of people at the moment have fitted the medium tyres, but I expect everyone to be on the softs by the end of the session. We'll see what everyone plans to do. Usually just, I think, a simple one-stop around here, but we shall see if there's any variations on strategy this evening. See if anyone plans to do something a little bit different. But yeah, to expect predominantly a one-stop, which is usually how we go around here, I think. Obviously, I think what was the time last night again? I'm just going to remind myself what the time was. Was it 8 something? No, it was a 6. No, 6 something. Sorry, I think 6 something. I think it was. Yeah, it was 6-2. Or it was 6 something. Yeah, 6-2. So maybe a 6-9 or a 7 flat might be a good bet for what pole time might be. I have got that drastically wrong. I was pretty close last week in what I thought it was going to be. So we'll see. Yeah, it's a 6-9, 7-ish, very low 7-ish. I think will be pole this evening. Max def around turn 4. And around turn 6. This is a tricky corner coming up. That's right-hander. And then open it up, the steering. This can be a tricky corner, as you just saw. Good example. Did manage to just about keep it on the track, but he got a lot of shape there. It's a lot more difficult though in the wet, that corner. It's horrendous in the wet. 177, so that tallies in. I do think we'll be in the 6s. 176 for Brutus. Zombie, he's just started a lap. Nexus Cats is on a lap. He's coming around now. I think there's someone going slow in here. He should be in the pits, hopefully. 7.5 on the medium, so that's also giving us an indication that we probably will be in the 6s here. I think right near the end. Red saying hashtag Team Goy. Goy racing again. He had been raced last week, but he's back this evening. Death Chip 10-4. Pops himself up into P2 at the moment. Goy gets a little watch. Let's get up to all the way on the inside. Outside too. Heading round to the second sector. Split 51.9 for the first 2 sectors. Roms in P10 at the moment. Zombie with an issue on that lap. It's 1:11.8, which is well off the pace. Goy, is this going to be a 7? It's going to be an 8, I'm afraid, for Goy. I think the best lap from Goy, 8.5. Man, the other Mercedes, coming around now. 51.9 was what Goy set. 52.1, so that's not a great lap either. Kathy's 107.5. He's just crossed the line there. The FUD's invalidated. Lee call, I think it will be on a lap. Good evening, Oscar. Oscar, I'd like you to put hello Zach, spelling it correctly next time though, please. No, I don't need to be rude, but it's a pet hate of mine. No matter how long people know me, like I've known Tom and Carl and Junkie Sport, T Smith and Junkie Sport for a year and a half, over a year and a half now, and the parties all the time, and they still proceed to call my name ZAC, it's ZAK. It's a hate of me. But good evening, Oscar. Only Wednesday up. I think Oscar said he's on a train at the moment, hence why he's not racing. Bit of an issue, racing on a train. Can't say I've ever tried that one. 108.2 for Leakill. Now, very impressed. Leakill's actually set a lap time that's not in the last 2 minutes, so well done, Lee. And this place is quite a difficult track, actually, in fairness, to get a lap in around here, because you can invalidate quite easily around here, so good job, good job. It's his first time he's actually got his first quality lap in about 5 years, I think. So, very impressed with him. How are we getting on with Max is on an outlap as well now for his second lap? Dan Morris, he on a lap? Believe so. Where is he? He's coming around to this long right hander, isn't he? As indeed. Some encouragement for Def Chip in the chat, currently in P2, so doing not too bad at all. Someone just hit a lap time now. Who was it? Not sure, someone just jumped up. Might be another FUD actually. Dan Morris though, this should give a good indication of what we're looking at. He is fastest through the middle sector. Oscar saying, watch out for Def Chip tonight. He's been putting a note lately and has shown some very strong pace. Well, he has P2 at the moment, so that backs up that claim. Matt Manel saying good evening to everyone. 7438 for Dan Morris, but since I've up to P3, we've been at very low 7s shortly. 7, that's all the first laps. Oscar saying to Matt, don't crash, that's always advised. It's one of those circuits, it looks quite straightforward, and it is, but there's a couple of places where you can win it. We saw Max definitely doing that. This place is a bit of a different ball game though when it comes to wet weather driving. That definitely can put a spanner in the works around here. And in real life, there tends to be a lot of wet races around here. It's notorious for Brazil tends to get a lot of thunderstorms and shovels, hence why Sao Paulo, which is the place that this circuit is in, tends to get a hell of a lot of rain, no matter what kind of month you're the Grand Prix with hell. It's a very wet place, with a warm place as well. Sao Paulo. Right, what's happening? Academy's on a lot. Kieran's on a lot. He just started, so that's good timing. Nobody has usurped Max's sign yet from his 0.364. He's coming to a lot of traffic here, Kieran. Rom, as I just said, that is at 7.1. Luckily, everyone's getting out of the way of that Williams. He did have 2 cars in front of him, one of which was his teammate, which very nicely got out of his way. But we're already in the 7.1, so yeah, looking likely we're going to get into the 6s here towards the end. Kieran coming around the middle sector, can he do a great first sector? He can indeed. He's done an absolute rapid middle sector. This might be on for a 6 here. He's going to be very close to getting into the 6s, so we shall see. He's got enough ERS, right? He's just about to run out now. It's in the 6s. It's 106.9, so already in the 6s. So some fast times already showing. Kieran Trapp popped himself up into provisional pole. Katamies pops himself into P3 with a competitive 7.331. So a lot of improvement coming already in their second laps for everyone. Alex Pixie is down on his time, sadly, through the first sector. Maxi Simon, is he on a lap? No, don't think so, no, he's not. Not on a competitive lap time anyway. Lee. Oh, very, very competitive first sector from Lee. Still 3 tenths up on his previous lap. See if we can watch Lee having a good lap here. Nice and tidy. Misses the apex slightly. Can get away with it round here. He's a little bit wide again there. The car just not really biting as much as you would probably want. Nicer through there. Oh, caught the little slide on the exit. Not bad. There's a much better lap, but there's a lot of time in that middle sector. He's just oh, Kieran is getting out of the way on the inside. Yeah, but that middle sector, there's a lot of improvement in middle sector for Lee. It's just a little bit rigid. Doesn't really want to turn at the moment. Whether that's just a setup issue or not from Lee, but it definitely doesn't look like that's cars for turning in that middle sector really. It's missing the apexes by quite a bit at points. Aaron Trucker, what's happening? Well, fun. Where is he? Oh, that is a Mercedes coming around, I think. That Mercedes is here, it's on the inside. As you can see, he has crashed on the inside of that corner. Also just got on the power a bit too early, Bill will give it. Can't imagine there being anything else with that. Can't imagine there being any contact. Don't know, it's quality. Oh, I've been proved wrong with that before. And Ditchip up in his time marginally. Nexus Cats has put himself up into P3. He's found a lot of form recently, has Nexus Cats. We've talked about that previously in quite a few. He's once again up at the top end. So Nexus Cats having some form which is continuing over to Brazil. Now everyone's going to get a little break after this for a week, so recharge the batteries. Not used to this kind of a long season, really. Guys, just how that was in the pits. Usually we only have 10-week seasons. Occasionally we've only had 8-week seasons in FTRL. So this is, I think it's 16 weeks on mistaken. Ditchip did improve up to P4. So he has jumped a few. Dan Morris, even, is one over a tenth up with the first sector. That's not a bad improvement at all. And he's up again through the middle sector. That's a solid middle sector as well. I don't think it's going to be quite enough to beat his teammate at the moment. I think this will pop him into P2. Good evening, Graham. I think this will pop him in P2. It does indeed, but he had actually gained quite a bit in that last sector as well, interestingly. So he ran out of ERS in his first lap, but once again, a familiar sight at the top of the timing sheets here in Div 2. It's Williams 1 and 2. Rom is definitely beginning to find his feet. He's in P3. So, as we mentioned when he rejoined FTRL, well, he's been in FTRL, but rejoined F1 side, I should say. They'd been off for a while, and he had previously shown quite a bit of pace in the F1 side. When we were in 3 divisions, he was in Div 2, and he was kind of front of the midfield, I would say, and sometimes he was up right at the top end occasionally as well, Rob. So he definitely has pace, and I think he's been building ever since when he's come back, and I think if it wasn't for the two at the front, Dan and Kieran, I definitely think it'd probably be Rom would be one of the ones fighting for the championship. He's very quick. He's been involved in a few incidents this season, Rom, most from not his own accord, must be said. Max's Syme, who was our provisional pole at the very start of this session, for the first few minutes, is up on his time, and this should be P3 by the look of this. It is P3 for Max's Syme. So good luck from him. Katamis up by 1.5 tenths, I think, for the first sector, so that's a very solid improvement from Katamis. And tricky corner coming up. It can be, as we've seen with Max. Not gained much in that middle sector. Kieran has improved minuscule on them, so I think it's a couple of hundredths of a second he's improved by. Katamis will be an improvement, maybe P5, yep, P5, 107.2. Not much, and you can get onto P3 though, in all honesty. So, still possible improvement for him. Casey Bernard, is on a lap at the moment. I think he was down on his first sector time. That first sector, it can be a bit of a mystery at points for some people. You can feel that you've done it all right and you're 2 or 3 times down. Like, it really, it's one of those weird sections of a track where you can lose a lot of time and you don't really know how you've lost said time. Casey Bernard with a pretty rapid middle sector. It's a very solid middle sector from Casey Bernard. And he's still got enough ERS actually to go all the way to the line. That's a solid middle sector. It's popped him up into P8. He lost actually a little bit of time in the last sector, and that's probably at the last corner. Zombie has retired. I think he's just finished his lap from in the pits. We call on for what I expect to be his final lap of the session, and he's coming around now, and he is up again on his time. Though I think the most he could possibly hope for here is P14. Really, looking at the timing differences. It all depends on whether he got good X as well. It's not going to be enough. I think he's down in P17. He's the only one in the 8th bar. Goy at the moment. Keith Bernard already, we've seen him already do his lap. Aaron Trucker, one of the ones to start his very final lap, and he is marginally down on his previous best, which is a 7.425. Coming up now through turn 5. Nice and clean. Using a lot of the curb on the inside, getting that car turned in. Katmi sadly isn't going to improve any more in his time. His very best is going to be in P5. Alex Pixie moved up to P6. Decent showing from the Alpha Tauris. Aaron coming round to the middle sector now. Looks like a decent middle sector, but he's not improved much. I think he's getting to the very end of what he can achieve. Yeah, that looked like a decent middle sector from him. Whether he can make up some improvement in this last sector, it remains to be seen, and it doesn't look like it is going to be much of an improvement at all. I think he hasn't actually moved up anywhere there at all. Next is Katz, is up through the first sector very marginally, just under 300ths of a second. This comes up towards turn 5 and 6. Tightens up through this section. That's Mercedes of Matman getting out of the way. Def Chip in P3, 107 flat. A lot of people very tightly bunched here, as is usually the case around here. He's up next is Katz, but by a tiny amount. There's a little curb on the exit. Very quickly after this, jump to the top 5. If any of them can make an improvement. Katz is coming across the line, and it's not going to be an improvement. Rom is a full 10th and a bit up through sector 1. Bear in mind that's only 17 seconds. So Rom could make a surprise appearance on the front row here. Dan Morris isn't improving, and he has crossed the finish line. So Rom here, if he gets this right, he might even get a bit of slip from that Alpha in front of him possibly, as long as it doesn't put him off. He's a 10th up still through the first 2 sectors. And he might gain a little bit of time here for this last sector. This might be enough to possibly put him on the front row. Maxi Simons finished his lap as well. Rom comes across the line, and sadly it's not an improvement there. Kieran 106.8, so he has demolished the field there on that last lap as well. 2 attempts is a big, it's actually a fairly big chunk of time around here in all honesty. It's not round many circuits, but round here 2 attempts is a fair bit. A short lap, but Kieran only man in the 6s, and it's a 106.8, which is a pretty competitive lap time. Kieran 106.8, that's a very, very solid lap time indeed there from him. I think that would have been, that would have been enough for 12th, I think. 13th, sorry, in Div 1, so pretty decent time from Kieran there. Solid lap time. It's a very familiar front row though, isn't it? They've Williams boys, Def Chip in P3, Maxi Sign P4 and FTRL, good qualifying from them. Ron P5, Catamese P6. Catamese is best qualifying in a while, I think, actually. Not the best qualifying recently, but he does well off the line, as we are all aware. Brutus P7, then we get Alex Pixie P8, next is Cats P9, Casey Bernard 10th, then Max is the first one on the free tire choices, only half a second covering the top 12. LaFud's P13, then we've got Matman, Zombie, Bossman, Lee, and Goy, so just over half a second covering the top 12. That man's saying something tells him his higher right height as back high are not going to be wet for long. Is there going to be a bit of rain in this? Oh, there is. So, there we go. But by the look of it, everyone's went for a dry setup because when I look at Matman's comment and the times that were set in quali, it is going to get drier. As those were pretty decent lap times that were set in that quali session there. So, Matman's obviously went for a bit of a higher ride setup because he was a wee bit down in the timesheets where he usually is. So that would explain it. My Matman's a little bit down on his time. So, if everyone's going to be, well, the vast majority of the field are going to be on relatively dry setups here, the first little bit of the race could be quite interesting here. Could be a lot of oversteer and understeer about the place, I think, here. So, yet another bit of rain in Div 2. I've actually had a few weeks off the rain. It was getting a bit ridiculous, to be honest, how much rain there was in Div 2 at the start of this season. It's definitely not wet, it's Inters, but I'll give it, it's not wet enough, but I'll give it 4 minutes. Yeah, everyone on Inters, which means the people outside of the top 10 don't have that benefit anymore of free tyres, because everyone's got free tyres now. So, here we go. Formation lap time. So here we go. A bit of oh god, already been a collision under the formation lap. But yeah, Williams boys at the front as usual. Def Chip P3, Maxi Sign 4th, Rom 5th, Catamie 6th. The other Renault is in P7. It's Alex Pixie next to Cats, Bernard, Max, Aaron, LaFud, Matman, Zombie, Bossman, Lee, and Goy at the back of the field. Yeah, Graham. Yeah, they've had an awful lot of rain. Div 2. When I was in Div 2, there was never as much as rain as this. It was actually a season. I think they had one bit of rain the full season. So, you know, luckily, it's one thing I don't actually mind the rain too much, depending on which track. I should say. If it was one of the tracks I don't like China or something like that, I'd probably cry. To be honest, most of the tracks I don't like, to be honest, where tracks that don't usually get rain, such as Bahrain. Though we did actually see a little bit of rain, I think, in pre-season testing in Bahrain, if I remember right. At some point. There's been a rain occasionally in Abu Dhabi as well, which is an odd one. But that actually does happen in real life, just not very often. Everyone line up. Very short formation lap here, as the circuit is one of the shortest on the F1 calendar. Maybe the shortest, actually. No, it's not. I think Monaco is the shortest. One of the shortest, anyway. Down the back, we've got the last 4 lining up. Zombie, Bossman, Lee, and Goy is going to be the final man to line up. Is it raining? Still, I think it is still raining, very lightly. But I don't think this will be very long before the rain stops. So here we go. We've got a bit of an interesting race. 5 red lights, and we're away for round 10. Decent start from the front too. I think that's Def Chip and P3 has got a decent start as well. He's maintaining position. He's trying to go round the outside of the Williams, but he's not going to be able to there. And we've got a bit of a collision between I think that's the Ferrari of Catamies and Alpha Tauri. I think that might have been Alex Pixie or Maxi Sign, one of the two. Doesn't look like it's been too bad down the back end of the field, looks pretty clean. Alex Pixie's right down the back though, so he's had some sort of off at the start of the race. Katames is up to 5th. Oh, there's a yellow flag, that Brutus, the look of it. It is indeed. Has he lost wing in the process, Brutus? I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know. He might just span on his own with the wet weather situation at the moment. So Katame's up 1. There's another yellow flag. Cat's up 3. Rom's up 2. Max is up 3. LaFud's up 4. Alex Pixie, as we said, was one of the big losers, down 5 places. Kind of P13s. These are a terrible start. Brutus obviously having a bad start as well near the back end of the field. Front 4 are as you were though. Nothing has changed out front between them. No point putting the tyres on it at the moment, everyone's on the same tyres. Zombie has sped into the pit lane. Katames is right on the back of Max's side. Obviously no DRS at the moment. Timing screens were having a bit of meltdown there at the top. Thought there was some change in the lead, but a little bit of a glitch. Katames didn't get a good run there through turn 4, and that's allowed Cats to close up quite a bit. I think he'd be very ballsy if he makes a move around here in the wet weather, intermediate conditions. Katames not getting the best turn in there either. I want Cats to get very, very close to the back of him. A few people down the back end of the field in the pits, assuming that's just for wing changes, as it's still raining at the moment, so it's definitely still enters at present. Zombie already picked up that by second penalty in the pits. Cats right on the back of his teammate. Out front, 6/10 is the gap between the top 2. Oh, he's also made a little bit of ground up. He's right on the back of Bossman. Cats goes down the inside of Katames at turn 1, and he looks like he's got the move done. Covers off the inside line, and he is up to P5 past his teammate. Makes himself up now 4 places, so excellent start from Cats and the Ferrari. Now the lead Ferrari. Wouldn't have expected that after 2 laps. Never mind how well Katames usually starts, though that's in the dry. It has been a bit of a different story. He's not gained any places in the opening few laps. Now everyone pitted has went back on the inters as you would expect. Rob's now on the back of Katames, so the issue that Katames probably has here, I'm just thinking, Katames tends to run a very top speed orientated setup, which usually means low wings, and since this is going to be expected to be a predominantly dry race, from what Mattman said in the chat, I'm assuming Katames has done his usual and went for a predominantly high speed setup, which might be a big factor in why he seems to be struggling. He's not made anywhere near as much progress as he tends to usually make starting a race, and he has been overtook by his teammate as well, so that might be why Katames might struggle in this opening part of the race even. So bear that in mind, that might be a factor in what is happening. Is that Lee Cole at the back? Oh, it is. Lee Cole has had a bit of a moment in the middle sector. So he's just probably got on the curb a little bit on the power, and that car's a bit of a spin. Sadly for Lee Cole, he's miles off the back already. I mean, he really needs a safety car round here, in all honesty, to catch back up to the pack. It's quite a short lap as well, so if he's not careful he might get lapped, and then that creates an even bigger issue. Brutus jumps up past Bossman, recovering after lap 1. He calls in the pits again, so he lost wing in that as well, so going bad to worse. He might actually be lapped here, Lico, already after a few laps, which is not what you want at all. So it's a shame for Lico that Lico's race is going from bad to worse at the moment. Out front, the gap is 4/10, and Kieran is being stalked by his championship rival and teammates at the moment. McMahon also having a bit of a moment. Or was that Goy? I think it may have been Goy having a bit of a moment at the final corner as well there. We'll look and see Dan Morris can make any inroads on his teammate. Well, he would just be sitting there. They are getting quite quickly away from Def Chip. It's 2.8 seconds away. As he signs 1.4 behind him. Then it's next is Cats, Catamies and Ron, who are all pretty close together. Max is in P8, a little bit of drift of Ron. LaFud's a similar gap back behind him. Keith Bernard's P10. Get Aaron Trucker in 11, Valix Pixie's P12, Brutus recovering in P13, Bossman P14, you get Goy, and it's Zombie, Matman and Lee, who sadly have all had a few issues in the opening few laps. Gap's eked out ever so slightly, so it's now up to 7/10. So it doesn't look like there'll be any move for the race lead at the moment. Still enters condition at the moment, and still raining as you can see, as it's still very, very light though. It's not particularly heavy. So how long will it be before we start to see someone go onto the dries? Bossman in the pits. Yeah, we stopped. Was that for wing, I'm assuming? That was a very, very early stop. Bossman. Can't imagine it being on dries. No, it is wet. It's a wing change. It's into sorry, and a wing change. Dan Morris closed in a little bit again. Oh, no, it is not. There was a yellow flag. Maybe in this little battle up front, just up ahead of Brutus. There was a yellow flag for a short period. A decent battle this actually. Max at the head of this. Who's lost a little more time to the back of Ron. That was 1.4ish, I think. A lap or two ago, and it's not up to 3 seconds, so clearly struggling to get any pace. I think that line is round. He is indeed. That's just the exit of turn 4. So one of the reasons went on the inside curb, which tends to spin you. Possibly. Dan Morris is very close to the back of Kieran. The closest he's been at turn 4. Not quite close enough to make a move yet, but this is easily the closest they've been. Rom's right on the back of Catamies. Catamies is struggling, I think, at the start of this race. You might see him come alive though when it gets to dry, as we're expecting. I think at the moment that setup isn't helping him. He's very, very close Dan Morris round here now. And Goy's in the pits. Goy's went on mediums. I think that's quite early. I don't think. There's still a bit of sliding going on in the enters, as you can see. Yeah, so I think that's far, far too early for mediums from Goy. I mean, he's nothing to lose, but I do think that's far too early. But we shall see. Dan Morris is closing in here with a bit of slipstream and a bit of ERS use. This might be a change for the lead as he pops himself down the inside and takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix round 10 and moves himself up as Def Chip pits. Now, oh no, he's on hards. Macman's on hards as well. This looks very early. Is it still? Oh no, it's not. DRS is enabled. As the rain stopped, I couldn't even see the rated bonds a few laps ago. It was very, very light. The rain clearly stopped, and there's quite a lot on hards now. That's 4 drivers on the hard now, 2 on the mediums. Def Chip is the lead. Now Dan Morris and Kieran Trapp were a good 2.5, 3 seconds ahead of Def Chip. We'll see what the gap is when he comes out. I'm assuming they're probably going to be in this lap as well. As there's a yellow flag in sector 2, as that's Rom. Well, Rom's off at the middle sector. That's turn 6, and he was on the inters. So it's clearly, I mean, that looks like it's been an incident on his own doing. So it's clearly still quite damp if someone on the inters is sliding about. Zombie's retired on the hard tire. It looks, I mean, I don't know, it still looks, it's a safety car now, but it still looks too early. People are, I mean, if Zombie's now crashed on the hard tyres, on dry tyres. Rom has just made a mistake on the dry tyres, though everyone's coming in dries now, which makes sense a little bit more because there's never a safety car. So that makes it a little bit more sense now, because it will start to dry up under the safety car, and the race seems to be getting drier now. But not sure. Yeah, there's a couple of people made some mistakes, but it did look a bit wet when he first came in, as Graham has just said in the chat. It has dried very, very quickly. So interesting tyre strategy. Very interesting tyre strategy. Now, don't usually see at this stage of the race such a difference in tyre strategy. Now, the mediums won't get to the end from here. I doubt. Don't know if anyone wants to put that in the chat, they can, but I can't imagine any mediums getting 27 laps. The hards will get 27 laps, I'm pretty sure of that. Especially being these couple of laps under the safety car. Kieran has went for the softs now, so what we've now got is Maxi Syme has actually jumped Kieran. Kieran had to double stack, obviously, behind Dan Morris, which has cost him P2. So that was a very important move that Dan Morris made in the couple of laps before the safety car came out. But very, very different in strategies here, because you've got the front three all on different sets of tyres. On fresh sets of different tyres at that. You've got mediums, hards and softs in the top three. Now that's very interesting. Rom has clearly made some sort of mistake when he's come in for his pit stop, as he's still on the intermediates. So that's been a mistake from Rom. Whether he has tried to go on and has probably not done it, or whether he's made a mistake and forgot to change them, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming Rom will be in this lap as he's coming in. But there's only one soft runner, it's Kieran, so Kieran's... Rob's picked up another 5-second time here. Rob, you're at the safety cars out, you don't need to rush. You're going to be at the back anyway. You might as well just went in slow there. Yeah, but this is interesting. Kieran's strategy is intriguing. Going for the softs. Maybe he's expecting another safety car. He's thought there's no point really going on the hards and mediums. Whether that's the logic in this. Definitely interesting, the range of strategies that are going to play out here. This could be an interesting one, this race. It's helpful. Lee is, I think, plus a lap. Bossman's plus a lap as well. Bossman's actually tried to catch back up now. He can go and catch up. Mattman's in the pack, so he's not going to be able to, and so's Lee. He's in the pack as well, but Bossman can catch up now as he's going for the start finish straight, which is helpful for him. So, how long the safety car will be out for? It's going to be out for another lap now. So we'll have time to catch up to the back. Yeah, Graves saying he might go soft. Yeah, I think a safety car would, or a virtual safety car would very help Kieran at the end of the stint. So I think that's probably what he's been thinking, is there's probably going to be another one, so I might as well just go on something I can push on for 13 so laps, and then pick for another set. Then there's a safety car, or a virtual safety car around that time. Depending on where it is, if it's a little bit early, you can jump on a set of mediums, obviously. He's going to have a set of them, and it starts on the wet as well. It's got plenty, they've got plenty enough tyres if there is going to be more safety cars. So have a range of different strategy options. Ron pitted again. Is that Ron pitted 3 laps in a row? If I'm not mistaken, I think so. What's he doing? What's going on? I'm very confused. Oh, I pitted the second time, but I think he might have just pitted again. I'm confused why he's... Unless I missed something, unless he came back out on the wrong set of tires again. But then he might be under a little bit of issue with the amount of tires he's got. He might just change tires willy-nilly. We've got so many sets. Oh yeah, true, I actually forgot about that. He probably did go in and serve his penalty. Good thought. I forgot I had that game. Yeah, that would answer that question. And I wouldn't have dropped too many places either because Bossman was too far behind him and Matman only caught a lap. So very, very good spot. Great. Safety car in this lap, so safety car comes in quite late. You don't know quite late because of how short a lap this is. It's just up this hill you've got. Facing time penalty for Bossman. Just trying to catch up desperately to the back of the pack. He's not quite going to be able to, I don't think. As he's gone now, Dan Morris. So off he goes. Not really left anyone for Gus, to be honest there. All very close together. Next is Katz is looking very racy behind Kieran. Kieran's going to need to get past Maxi Sign pretty damn quickly here. As Kieran is going to be on so much fresher tyres. And he's going down the inside towards turn 4. A pretty difficult place to overtake sometimes. It tightens up towards the entry of this corner. He's got past. Next is Katz might think he wants a bit of action here as well, as he's on faster tyres than Maxi Syme. And Maxi Syme's hard tyres might take a lap or two to heat up, as is usual for the hards. And he hasn't got that turn in for the next corner either, that long right-hander. So they're going wheel to wheel, and next is Katz is going to try and hold it around the outside, but he then turns into the inside for the next corner. And I think he's already got that move done, so he's up to P3. And those hard tyres on Maxi Syme's car are taking a bit of time to get up to temperature properly. And so there you go. Kieran already up to P2. He's going to need to catch and probably overtake his teammate to get the benefit of those soft tyres. Alex Pixley's not far behind Lefebvre as well. He's on the hard tyres. There's quite a lot of these on the hard tyres, so we'll see how quickly they manage to heat those tyres up. There's a couple of fastest laps there. Dan Morris initially, then Kieran's just beat it. Rom's getting past Goy up into P13. Got rid of his penalties now. Backstep picks up a 3-second time penalty. Kieran's under a second. So he's got a move done now. Kieran past Maxi Syme. He's lost 2 places on those hards, but that decision might come to him towards the end of the race. Only doing the 1-stop strategy. Well, it looks like a lot of them are doing 2 stops. Max right on the back of Brutus there. And the trucker very close to the back end as well. Kieran's closing into the back of Dan Morris here. I think this might be a move coming soon. Best exit, Kieran. And Dan Morris might get a little bit of a better exit. And now the slipstream and the ERS will come into good effect, though not manage to get past yet. DRS hasn't been activated, I don't think yet. It has now. Kieran is going to have it this time, and he's going to have a bit of slipstream as well, and he's going to go down the inside. Dan tries to push him a little bit. Kieran's going to go down the inside. Dan Morris is going to try and hold it round the outside. They go wheel to wheel. And now they're going to go wheel to wheel all the way around here. I think there was a little push there, Kieran on Dan Morris. Kieran gives him a bit of a shove. And Kieran gets up to P1, getting his elbow out on his teammate. But no proper contact, no crash. So they both get away with that. Next is Katz is still in P3, though he's a little bit of a drift of the top 2. Hard tyres should be nicely warmed up now, though. So should all be on a bit of more of a level playing field. You would expect. As well. Over a third of the way through this race. And the last race before the mid-session break. Yeah, a lot in this kind of DRS train here that's led by Maxi Syme, who doesn't seem to be going at a great rate of knots at the moment. He's under pressure by quite a lot of drivers behind him. Max Def and Aaron Trucker going wheel to wheel. I think that's Max Def moving up to P11, getting past though. Oh, Max is just killed Aaron Trucker, and that's completely Max's fault there. Aaron, I think, was down the inside, and Max is just... I think he's using controllers. I think Max has just hit Aaron Trucker off the track there. And he had a wiggle. Max's side though in P5. I think Aaron Trucker's got kind of a way of it though. I'm not sure if he's got wing damage, but he hasn't lost too much time. Luckily for him. I imagine he's probably lost wing. I'd be surprised if he hasn't. He's doing well, he's kept that out of the wall. Max's Simon on Catamies. Max's Simon got overtook by Catamies, I think. Catamies though might be under pressure. I think Max's Simon is going to go back up into P4. Next is Katz with his first penalty. And he's comfortably away from this group. But he has got that penalty now. Catamies is going to come back at him, I think. He is indeed. He's going to try and go down the inside. He's going to try and hold it round the outside. And I think they're going to go wheel to wheel. I think he's going to have to give this up though. This AlphaTauri. Or is he? He is indeed. Just at the right point. As that might not have ended very... Oh, dearie me. He's went into the back of him, Max's Sign, and he just lost his end plate. So, sadly for Max's Sign, he has lost the position and lost a bit of his wing as well in the process. Not a great few corners there for him. And as you can see, he's already struggling there to get that car turned in. So, well, Max's Sign pop into the pits. If not, I'm expecting Def Chip to get past him pretty shortly. With that wing damage, is he coming in? It doesn't look like it. He's staying out. Def Chip is closing in on him. So Max's Sign's already closing in as well. He's going to go try and go round the outside, but he's not able to. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 as Rom crashed again. Rom is gone again. Rom has left the session now as well, so Rom I think has given up. Def Chip and the was on board with that, has now got past Max's Sign as well, so he's moved up. Max's Sign seems to be really struggling at the moment. LaFud and Alex Pixie were having a battle I think as well at some point, and LaFud is now trying to go down the inside of Max's Sign. It's a little bit of an opportunistic move, and he didn't get it past, and he's now under pressure as they're going wheel to wheel with Alex Pixie. LaFud I think is held on though, he's on the medium tyres. Brutus is hovering in the background in this battle as well. Cameron still in the lead, and he's not got rid of Dan. He's still within the arrest range. So Ramos is doing a very, very solid job keeping him that far behind, that close to him. Bear in mind he's on fancy cars. So Def Chip is closing in, not able to make the move yet. Catamies has given him a lot of room though, and Def Chip has got past. It was very nice from Catamies, a bit too nice to be honest. Not sure if he had a bit of a moment there. LaFud is going to go down the inside of Max's Sign. There's a bit of an audacious move, and he's not able to get it done. I think Brutus is going to pop himself up now as well. So they're going to go wheel to wheel, and he has to yield, and Brutus opportunistic moves up into P7. So Brutus now getting a move on. He's recovering from that lap one, and he's doing a good job at it as well. He's up to P7 now, and you can see P4 in the distance now. He's just a second and a bit off P4, so he's done a very solid job. Catamies is losing seconds a lap though too. Next is Katz, who's on the medium tyre. So these lot on the hard tyres, that hard tyre does not seem to be working at all at the moment. They are losing seconds a lap. They are battling as well, which is obviously causing that as well, but they are losing tons and tons of time to the top three. It's Def Chip and Catamies going wheel to wheel. There's a lot of congestion as they go through turn 2 and turn 3. What is going on? It's absolute chaos. Someone's in the wall. Renault in the wall is 2 wide. I think it's 3 wide at points as well. Renault's trying to get involved as well. Def Chip's trying to go down the inside of Catamies. There's a Haas round in the background as well. There's far too many cars in a corner that doesn't... It's difficult to get one car around there, let alone 3 and 4 and 5. I don't know what they're playing out there, but that was just mental. And the Haas of Lafud, I think, was the Haas that got affected by all that and basically got pushed out of their way, I think, and all of that. But that was utter madness there, and they're still all together. That hard tyre is not enjoying itself right now at all. It's struggling for grip. They're all struggling for pace. And therefore, cars like Maxdef are catching back up again. Goy's now in P11 and catching up to this big battle as well. It's showing you how slow these hard runners are. They are so slow. As they're going to go free wide now, as Brutus, Katamis and Def Chip. Brutus has got past them all and is now up to P4. Def Chip's down the inside of Katamis and is up to P5. But Brutus has made himself from P17 at the end of lap 1 up to P4 from lap 20. And I think Katamis might try and come back at Def Chip. They are. He's weaving in and out. Def Chip goes defensive. Katamis trying to slalom his way and trying to find a way through. He's not able to get a way through yet. He's still in P6. And I think the two Alpha Terries are still in P7 and P8. Maxdef is getting very interested now as well. He's closed right up into the P9. Casey Bernard's come from nowhere and he's now in this battle. They've got Coy as well, who's now in P11 and is about to join this battle. That's Matman behind them who's lapped. However, it's a bit chaotic, isn't it, this? Out front, it's more calm, but they're still within 6/10 of each other. But behind that is utter chaos. It's a proper FTRL DRS train at the moment round here. It tends to be in real life you can get DRS trains, but this is a monstrous DRS train. When look at the state of that, I mean, what a shot. Absolute mental. I think Brutus might be trying to get away from these though. Round here it's a lot easier said than done, as Alex Pixie I think is going to go down the inside of Katamis. He looked like he was going to go down the inside of Katamis, then decided not against it, but they go wheel to wheel up front as well. And Dan Morris initially got past Kieran Trapp. I think Kieran Trapp has now just re-overtook, so they're getting very race up front now as well. I think Kieran's softs might be beginning to fall off a little bit, which is why Dan all of a sudden is getting more interested. But this is a very, very eventful race. Action up and down the field. Maxdef is getting very interested in the back of Max's sign. I think Aaron Trucker's got past, that was Rom's ghost car actually. Rom's left the session. Maxdef very interested. He's on the medium tyres, so his tyres will probably be starting to go off in a few laps time. And he's still clearly a little bit faster than the first of the Alpha Tauris in front of him. I think that's a ghost car of Leader getting past there in the background. That's not an overtake, that's a ghost car. I'm getting very interested in this as well. It's been going so far. Max is getting very close to the back of Max's sign. This might be a move. Max's sign is going to go for the inside, so Maxdef is going to have to go the long way around, though I think he's already passed as he heads in towards turn 1. Terrible camera angle. Codemaster, do you mind giving me a better angle? There we go, that's better. He has completed that move. Max's sign might try a return attack, so I don't think he's quite got the straight line speed, so I think it's going to stay as you are. Brutus has not left this pack, though Maxdef is getting a little bit detached from it now, because I think that was Max's Sims doing, I think, that got a little bit detached, but Maxdef can now possibly try and close up. Casey Bernard is very close to the back of Max's Sim as well, so Max's Sim is very quickly falling down the order now. Brutus has definitely not got rid of the two behind him, or the three behind him, sorry, which is Def Chip, Katamis and Alex Pixie. Quite a few of these have now picked up penalties. The top two is now led by Dan Morris, and all of that stuff that was happening. Dan Morris is now back up to P1. Though Kieran is very close again, and this might be a re-overtake here possibly, but it's a little bit too far back. You need to be right up behind someone at this point to get past. And we'll close up into 2 temps probably. Away and about, that's 3 temps actually. Goy has pitted. And probably he's going to go back on the mediums, I would suspect, looking at how long he's went on those mediums to start with. No, softs. He's went for the softs, interestingly. He thinks he can get those softs to the end. Kieran's done 13 laps, but I think a few of those were under the safety car, so that's probably not a good judge of how long they can go. Death Chip is very close to the back of Brutus. So Brutus, having got past, is not really done anything. He's not gotten far enough away. Oh dearie me, Death Chip is now down a place he was very near. That was a very slow speed moment there from Death Chip. That was very, very slow speed, and he very nearly turned that car around there. He's on board at the right time to notice that. Kieran traps in the pits. So Goyne might be asking a bit much of those soft tyres to get to the end. Kieran is going to be putting on those soft tyres. Now where is he going to come out? He doesn't really want behind this big chunk of battling going on. I think he is going to be behind this big chunk of battling though. And that is not going to be nice. He's going to be just ahead, he's going to come out just ahead of the little gap between the two battles. Catamies has got past Brutus. So Brutus was struggling a little bit after getting past them. Catamies has got back past now. But Kieran luckily has got ahead of the back battle between Max's side and Casey Brad and the further back train. But he's came out behind that battle between Kieran, Catamies, sorry, the leader of this. And you can just see Kieran in the background, who's now having to get past Max there, and then he's got a big 1.6 second gap to close, and then he's got the next lot in that train. And who's that? I think that's Death Chip and Brutus going at it now as well. So Brutus, after re-overtaking, now looks like he's going to be overtook again by Death Chip. Kieran's also getting past Max Death in the process, but we'll keep on board with this battle. And Catamies has went wide in the process as well. So then Death Chip has got past both of them. Catamies, that car doesn't want to turn in turn one at all. It just doesn't turn. Seen it a few times. Catamies is very rapid in a straight line though, and he's nearly got back past Death Chip. So once again, here we go. It's chaos again, and this is going to hinder Kieran, who's now closed into the back of this mess as well. It's unfolding in front of him, and as much as that's a dive. Alex Pixie down the inside of Brutus and Alex. Oh my God! He's just smashed into the wall. Oh, that's one that Kieran's got past. That was interesting. It was a very audacious dive from Alex Pixie, a bit late, and then there's been contact made on the exit of the corner, and he's coming out a lot worse of a wear there. So this is not helping Kieran. I think it's safe to say he's been caught behind this almighty mess that's unfolding, which is the battle for P4. Got a few pit stops now as well. No, those hard tyres are going to try and get to the end, so they are racing for position, Kieran. But Kieran is on those very fresh, soft tyres, and he's going to want to get the best out. It'll be a bit of an audacious dive. The British are going to break early. Very nearly into the back of him there, Kieran. Kieran's going to be so much quicker. I think he might even think about a move down the inside of the next corner after this corner. He's went very wide. He's going to go for a bit, try and get extra speed towards the exit. Not able to though. And he's going to have to sit back at this point. I think Dan Morris is in a very solid position here. I think he will have to pit again unless he goes to the end on those mediums. That's a lot of ask of the mediums, I think. He really could do a virtual safety car would really help him at the moment. Kieran, I think this might be the time. He's going to have to use a bit of ERS. He is close though. As you can see, Brutus is getting DRS. And he's closing in on Catamies, and they're both closing in on Catamies. This could get very close. Kieran's going to go down the inside though of Brutus into turn one and gets the move done. Good camera angle, and he's up to P5 for that Williams man who's just pitted. So he's got that fresh tyres. He might be thinking about a move here on Catamies. So Catamies, as we know, is having a rapid straight line setup as always. Bolt saying you can only do 23 laps on the medium. Yeah, I didn't think you could get that many laps on the medium tyres. I think Dan's asking a lot to get to the end on those tyres. Though if anyone could get to the end on those tyres, it's probably Dan Morris, who does keep his tyres in absolutely excellent condition, as I've seen plenty of times before. Battle as well here, and that's Max Death who's closing in on the back of Goy Karp, and Goy Karp has yielded position. Max Death moves himself up into P11, and he's now on the back of Third. In between them is that ghost car of Leacall. Kieran's right on the back of Catamies now as well. This will be a very straightforward move as Catamies is outside the DRS range. therefore isn't getting any straight line speed advantage. Kieran very easily up to P4. He's now catching up to the back of Def Chip, so that's, I think, 3 done for Kieran, 1 to go. He has lost an awful lot of time, and that benefit you get of the soft tyres, that initial benefit, has predominantly been lost. Those few laps where you can set extremely good lap times, as Lafud, as you can see, sets the fastest lap time. That would have been Kieran if he wasn't in so much traffic, on 9.5 for Lafud, who has picked up a penalty on the, as he cut the inside of that corner. Dan Morris still going 18 laps. He's been on those tyres. Alex Pixie 108.9. Things are tumbling on the soft tyres. There's a few dips away. Kieran's coming as Dan Morris comes in. So he is coming in, and he's going to come out, I think, behind Kieran just. Now Willie comes out behind Katamis, might decide this race, as Kieran is going to come round the last corner, and he's got the DRS heading towards turn 1. Katamis goes defensive. Don't think Def Chip goes defensive, sorry. I don't think he's going to have anything to offer anyway, and it's going to be a very straightforward move. Dan Morris is coming out of the pits now, and he's going to come out behind Katamis and behind Brutus and in P5. And Brutus and Katamis and Def Chip, I think, are going to stay out, and I think they're pretty sure they can get to the end on those tyres. They might be a bit dead by the end, but they're going to stay out. So Dan Morris is on the best tyres right now, but he's going to have to overtake people for position. These are not people that I'm expecting to come into the pits. Next is Katz is going to be very quickly past Casey Bernard, I would expect, who's also one of those 6 runners who are on very worn hard tyres. And you can see the extra grip Nexus Katz has got, and he's actually going to go down the inside at a corner that you don't usually associate with going round, but he's not there yet, and he's going to have to go round the outside. And good move from Katz, very committed, and he's past there. Dan Morris has made that first move past Brutus, who's on the inside there. So Brutus is thinking about coming back though. I think Dan Morris has got that move done. Temra camera angle. Katamis has once again had a dodgy turn 1, keeps happening. Terrible camera angle from Codemaster, so I wasn't really able to see it. Can Katamis come back at him? I don't think this is really in your best interest, Katamis. Oh God almighty, what is he doing? That's one way of doing it. I don't know why he's trying to fight that, to be honest. It's just silly. And he's going down the inside now. Dan, that's a committed move. What a move. What a body move. That's what you call an overtake from Dan Morris up to P4. Now he's got Katamis to overtake again. And Katamis, you do need to be quite careful, as was seen in the previous incident. He's going to run the outside though. There he goes, round the outside at the last corner. And now he's going to have to try and keep ahead. Bear in mind, Katamis is going to get DRS. He's got no ERS though, so he might actually be under threat here from Brutus, who's going to try and pop it round the outside. They're both catching up to Dan Morris. Katamis once again has well outbroke himself. I think he needs to brake for turn 1 a bit earlier. Every single lap he's done that, and he's broke far, far too late. And that's allowed Brutus to have an excellent run on him. And there we go. I don't know, Katamis just needs to brake, very simply. It's not difficult, but brake. And you'll kind of come to know Katamis doesn't brake it much. We're new to FTRL. But yeah, Dan Morris has safely negotiated. I wouldn't say safely, but he's got past anyway. Katamis definitely got his elbows out a bit there and defending Dan Morris. I think it was a bit pointless defending though. Dan Morris was always going to get past. It was just more of a matter of time than if he was going to get past, to be honest. He's going to be catching up now to Kieran. 4.8 seconds, 4.9 seconds is the gap between those two. There's Def Chip in the middle. Kieran has got a penalty. Dan doesn't have a penalty, and that could be important to decide the outcome of this race. Penalties can tend to have a bit of an impact around here. As there are quite a few places, particularly in that first sector, those first few corners, where you can pick up a penalty very, very easily. Academy's on the back of Brutus. Both of these have picked up penalties. But these are going to be testing times for the hard runners towards the last couple of laps. The tyres will be definitely nearing the cliff edge of what they can do, so they will be pretty dodgy, those hard tyres. You need to take really good care of them. And we have seen in previous, Katamis has got punctured a couple of times on the hard tyres, which is sliding. Katamis also doing a bit of a slide. Well, I've seen in previous weeks in Div 2, a couple of people on the hard tyres having punctures near the end of the races. This could be another one of those cases, as there's still a solid 4 laps for them to complete in this race. Some have been on them for 20, they've all been on it for at least 23 laps now, or 24 laps as in Def Chip and Brutus's case. A very, very long way to go. Next is Katz, is having to get past them all on those soft tyres. The issue he had is he was a little bit behind Dan Morris and Kieran, so he came out a little bit behind most of these guys. Katamis has let his teammate go. That might be the only time. Frame that, video clip that, photograph that. That's the only time Katamis has ever let someone through. Next is Katz, through on his teammate. Good teamwork between the two, and he's now going to be catching rapidly up to the back of Brutus on those very worn hard tyres. I think Def Chip might be a stretch, but it all depends. Those tyres have been on Def Chip's car for a long, long time. Dan Morris closing in on Kieran, not particularly much though. It's 5 or 6 tenths a lap. Kieran's tyres will be beginning to get near the end of its life in the next few laps, so that will be the point Dan Morris might be starting to catch up a little bit more. Kieran will be driving at his skin, bearing in mind he's got a penalty. Dan Morris doesn't. Dan Morris is right on the back now of Def Chip. It's under a second now. Dan Morris has picked up a 3-second time penalty, which now means he needs to get past Kieran on track, and he's only got just under 3 laps to do it. He's asking an awful lot of Dan Morris to catch up that much on the back of his teammate. That's an awful, awful lot to ask. Dan Morris really needs to get past this McLaren ASAP, and he's closing in very quickly. As you can see, Def Chip is really struggling on those hard tyres. There's another one getting past one of the hard tyres on this. LaFud gets past Bossman. Back to Dan Morris though, who looks like he's going to wait for this DRS straight. It's going to be a huge ask, and I don't think he's going to be anywhere near close enough to make a move. This looks like it's Kieran's race at the moment. That penalty's cost Dan Morris. He's going to be closing very quickly, and he's going to be well past Dan Morris. Round the outside he goes, and as you can see, he's passed him well before the braking zone. And up to P2, it's just going to be under 4 seconds of a gap. He's got 2 laps to do. That's a pretty massive gap he needs to close in 2 laps, and I think it's probably going to be a bit of a stretch, to be honest. Next is Katz though. Is going to be passed down the inside of Brutus on those very worn hard tyres. And there we go. Next is Katz, moves himself up into P4. He has got a penalty. Def Chip doesn't have a penalty, and there's a bit of a too much gap. So Def Chip looks like holding on for a podium on a very, very good one-stop strategy, and the front two are both on a 2-stop strategy. Dan Morris might be regretting his choice of going on the mediums at the start. I think had he been on the softs, he probably would have won this race. But Kieran made the better strategy choice, it looks like, at the moment. That's his Simons on the back of Casey Bernard. Both of these are on kind of the same tyre life, only a lap between the two of them. Casey Bernard hasn't got a penalty though. One of the only 3 drivers, and Rom isn't in his car, so there's only 3. Def Chip, Casey Bernard and Aaron Trucker. And he's going to go down the inside, Maxi side. Casey Bernard really struggling on those hard tyres as Kieran enters the last lap. Dan Morris not closing anywhere near enough, just needs to get to the end. Doing a very, very of holding off the challengers behind on those worn tyres. He's 7 lap old hard tyres, and he's still there At the moment, he's actually going to gain on Dan Morris. He's actually going to take a podium. He's going to take P2 at the moment off Dan Morris. As Dan Morris needs an extra 1.4 seconds, which it just isn't going to happen. Max Def gets past Bossman as well, up into P10. Actually forgot about that Def chip at the moment. Oh, Dan Morris is gone. He span. The last few corners, he's pushing as much as possible, just in case. And Dan Morris has absolutely choked it on the last lap of the last corner of the last lap. And Dan Morris has sadly span. Kieran has took the race win. Def Chip takes P2. Nexus Cats takes P3. Brutus takes P4. Catamuse is going to take P5. Dan Morris is only going to take P6. He's had a shocker on the last lap. P7 is going to go to Casey Bernard on penalties. Maxi Simon's going to take P8. Bossman's going to take P9. Max Def's going to take P10. Aaron Trucker's going to take P10 actually, off of Max Def. Max Def is going to take P11. LaFud's P12. Goy's P13. Alex Pixie's P14. There we go. Def Chip gets P2 on 27 lap hard tyres. That is a very, very solid result for the McLaren. Kieran gets another race win. Dan Morris, the pressure got to him at the end. He was pushing, trying to catch up. It wasn't enough though, and he made a mistake. There we go. That was an interesting end to the race. Unexpected, I think, is the phrase to describe that end. And Kieran Trapp wins yet again. Def Chip with a very, very well-deserved P2. Nexus Cats with another podium. I think there's going to be a win for Nexus Cats soon. How soon, we'll yet to find out, but he's doing well. Nexus Cats P3, Brutus Beer P4, Catamese P5, Dan Morris P6 sadly, Casey Bernard down to P7, Maxi Signs P8, Bossman's P9, Aaron Trucker P10, Max Def P11, then we've got LaFud, Alex Pixie, Goy, Matt Man, Lee Colt and Rom and Zombie both didn't finish. So there we go, Kieran Trapp with yet another victory in Div 2. And now we go into our week little break. I think GT is on the next 2 days, I believe. Then we've got ACC back Monday. As I say, we're not, I think as far as I'm aware, we're not on the next week for F1 or Div 1 or Div 2. We should be back on the 18th and 19th of May, which is the Singapore. I think it's actually 5 weeks we've got. We've got Singapore, Canada, Italy, Japan, and then the final race is full qualifying at Mexico. So 5 more races to come after that week break next week. But that rounds out this evening's action, and another race that involved a bit of rain. Very, very enjoyable race. A lot of chaotic goings on, I think it's fair to say, all the way to the checker flag, and Dan Morris at the end sadly lost that podium. But Kieran takes yet another victory. So thank you very much for watching, and have a nice night.